So tonight we have Sarah Kaminski. She is a member of Tribe. She'll probably get into a little bit in our intro because she always does a little intro where she talks about her journey. And with that said, she's going to be doing a recap with Summit with the presentation given by Melanie Mitro, who is top coach for, she followed my mentor, Lindsay Matway, so 2014, 2015, and actually she's projected, well, I can't like say it, but she's projected to be the top coach for 2016 as well. So she's going to recap her presentation for Summit this year about being extraordinary, which is her really talking about being ordinary. But Sarah will get into that. So Sarah's a diamond coach, qualifying 1-star right now, qualifying 1-star. And she also is a Success Club All-Star. She is, she has been a team leader. She has been working, she was able to leave her job as a full-time teacher. And also she has been able to pursue her dream. I'm not exactly sure. I like have a vague idea. I just know how to phrase it, but I'm sure she'll be able to tell you a little bit about it, of following her own entrepreneurial, I can't say that word, dreams outside of just becoming, or not just becoming, but doing, Beachbody. Like she had this bigger vision and she's making it come to fruition. So I think that's super exciting to be able to share that because she was able to do that with coaching as her vehicle. So with that said, I'm going to pass it over to her and meet myself, and Sarah is going to take over the call.
All right. Hey guys. Thanks, Megan. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. I do this little cheat for my slideshow, if it's even going to work. So it's going to show me my next slide. But now it's not even giving me that option. All right, well, I'm just going to get started. If everybody will just double check to make sure that they're muted, that would be great. If you have questions or comments, just put them in the chat, and we'll address all of those at the end. I can't look at them while I'm talking. It's too distracting. So I'm Sarah. I am wife to Chris. We have been married for 5 years. Mama to Ziggy. He is going to be 3.
Sarah. It's like sorry to interrupt. It's like slightly oversized in my screen. It may just be my screen. Is it just my screen? I just want to make sure because it's recording and I don't want it to be oversized. And I'm seeing is anybody else seeing it oversized? Ash?
You mean oversized like the image?
Yeah, like I'm not seeing right now I'm just seeing all like the green and white image. Like, yeah. I'm not seeing the text in this box, for instance.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know if maybe it's just is it my computer?
Yeah, I was seeing it fine.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's just me.
That's okay. Give me 1 second.
No, I don't, if it looks good, no, because somebody else said it looks fine to them. As long as it's looking good to everybody else. That's weird. Maybe it's because I just went and muted somebody. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Is that better?
Okay. I'm sorry. I think I just screwed you up.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Can everybody?
I just wanted to make sure it was recording right. So Ash, it looks good to you?
It does, yeah.
Okay. All right. Awesome, Sarah. Sorry about that. I didn't mean that. I just wanted to make sure it was recording properly.
That's okay. So like Megan said, I'm going to be recapping Melanie Mitro's presentation at Coach Summit. I kind of skipped ahead before. If you were not at Summit last year and you have been in this business, if you're on this call, you should be at Summit, because if you're on this call, you care enough about coaching in this culture to make it a priority. It is just a really important experience. It was definitely life-changing just to experience the culture that Beachbody is, and the opportunity obviously to meet in person all of these people that we have developed relationships, across our team in this virtual world, right? So, I'm roomed with 2 people in the Fit Tribe network that I probably wouldn't have met otherwise, and, became good friends. So Definitely get your ticket for New Orleans if you haven't already. If you are a new coach, you should be pushing for Success Starter. So that's hitting Success Club 5 in your first 3 months and earning that free ticket. That should definitely be a goal. And if you miss that benchmark, no biggie. Get your ticket and just come down. It's going to be an incredible time. So like Megan said, I'm Sarah. I'm a Pittsburgh native. I am mama to Ziggy. He'll be 3 in March. My husband Chris and I have been married for just over 5 years. We are simple people. We're vegetarians. We like to spend a lot of time outside. And that's really just us in a nutshell. So Melanie Mitro is also a Pittsburgh native. And she is a former teacher. I taught kindergarten to 2nd grade for 7 years. And I loved teaching. But when my son was born, I just sort of found this, I don't know, I just had a really difficult time balancing work and being a mom in my life. And so when I was presented with this opportunity, I just immediately saw it as, you know, my ticket to kind of break free from those 4 walls, you know, and be more present in my life and with my son. And, you know, like Megan said, use Beachbody as a vehicle to kind of, you know, continue to build my brand and pursue some of the things that I've always wanted to do. And I continue to do that. So I put in my resignation for my teaching job in August. I've been a full-time coach since, you know, mid-August of this year. It's exciting stuff. So anything's possible with this, guys. You just have to, you know, create a vision for yourself. And that's a lot of that is what Melanie talked about in her presentation. So all of my talking points are going to come. They're all inspired from her presentation at Summit this last year in July. So like I said, she's a mom of 2. She's a former teacher, 2-time top coach. Megan said she's in the running for top coach for her 3rd consecutive year, which is just insane. And the year prior to that, she was in the top 10. So she knows what she's talking about, right? And when you see these big people that have achieved these really incredible things, you always think that they're going to have these like really crazy tips to provide. And what I find always, is that what they do is they, you know, just recommend that you just bring it back to the simple things that you did in the beginning that you were taught to do in the beginning. It's just bringing it back to the basics. So like Megan said, being the ordinary in order to become extraordinary. It's just those ordinary things, which for us, as we know, is the vital behaviors. And we're going to dive into that a little bit later. So what makes Melanie different than anybody else? She created a vision for her life. And, you know, when you create a really rock solid vision, what that does is it becomes a driving force for you when things get hard, because they're going to get hard. It's not going to all be rainbows and sunshine. But when you have this really rock solid, incredible vision for your life, then you're able to create one for your business, and that will continue to drive you forward when things get hard. So she had a vision, and she absolutely, without a doubt, was willing to do the things that most people aren't willing to do. Honestly, she does things, probably the way that she does things are much different. She's likely very efficient. But what I really love about Melanie, and I don't know her personally, is that if I didn't know that she was a almost 3-time top coach in a huge network of health coaches, I would never know that. She just seems to be very down to earth. And, you know, she's just a mom, and she's sweet, and she's funny. So what were my big takeaways? The first is just, why not you? I mean, she stood up on this stage and could have, you know, boasted, but instead was like, guys, every single one of you in here, and just like all of us here on the call, can all be standing in that space if we wanted. Again, it just comes back to that vision. So you have to kind of dig deep and think about what makes you feel alive. What is the drive and the why behind what brought you here? And sometimes, again, when things get hard, you have to think about why you started. So for me, I think about, you know, I was teaching online when I was presented with this opportunity. And I can remember before Beachbody, I even knew Beachbody existed, I can remember standing in my cubicle like, oh my God, so like this is it. Like this is it. Me standing in a box while someone else raises my kid. Like this is it. So when I think about like what brought me here in this moment, when it gets hard, I think about standing in that cubicle and I think about how badly it sucked. And I think about why I wanted to get myself away from that situation and out of that part of my life and be more present in other places. So that was the why that brought me here. And every time that it gets hard, now that I'm here and I've, my why is evolving, I have to remember what brought me here in the beginning. Are you confident in the gifts that you have to offer? So all of us are here for a reason. We were all put on this earth with a purpose, and we all have a gift to bring. And it's almost never a physical thing, a tangible thing that you can give somebody. It is, an emotional connection with somebody, or it is the way that you are able to communicate with people. It is the way that you're able to relate with people. It is the way that you're able to relay information to people or to inspire others. So are you confident in what those gifts are? And if you're not sure, it's kind of a hard thing to, it's like writing your resume for yourself. Like, so hard to try to talk about all of the things that I'm really good at. Ask somebody that you're really close with what your strengths are, and, bullet point 2 to 5 things, and take it and roll with it and be confident in those gifts and offer them. Are you living 2 or 3 steps outside of your comfort zone? So you're in this box, right? And you get really comfortable and cozy there, and you're like, okay, I have it all figured out. And that's when you need to take a step over and like 2 or 3 steps farther outside of that box, because that's where you're going to continue to grow and continue to learn. So always be willing to step 2 to 3 steps outside of your comfort zone. And then finally, are you settling for average? So if you're thinking about that example that I just gave about me standing in my cubicle, that is what most people, I hate to use the word settling, but I felt like I was just settling. Like, this is just it. This is what my life is, and that's, a lot of people don't even ask that question. They're like, oh, well, that's just what you do. You wake up in the morning and you sit in a car in traffic for 40 minutes and you sit in a box all day. Well, you pay somebody else to raise your kids. And then you get back in the car and you sit for another hour on your way home, and you go home, and, it's just this cycle. And that is, that's average. And that's what most people just settle for. So ask yourself that. What's the alternative? If you don't continue to move forward in this direction, are you just settling for average? And are you okay with that? And if you are, and you're happy there, then there's nothing wrong with that. But make sure that you are, again, just pushing yourselves 2 to 3 steps outside of your comfort zone. So life is tough, guys, but so are you. Thinking about goals, we're like big, obviously, on goal setting when we're looking at, a month out, and with the new year approaching, we're going to be doing lots of goal setting and vision boards. And so when we set a lot of goals, we miss a lot of goals, right? And it's so important not to let a missed goal defeat you, and to come in with a plan B attitude. So when you come in prepared with a plan B, like, okay, this is my plan A, and this is my initial goal, but if I don't necessarily hit that, what's my plan B? So for example, you come into the month saying, as a non-negotiable, I'm going to hit Success Club 10. On November 1st, you come in and say, I'm going to hit SC10 this month. And then November 30th rolls around and you're sitting at SC8 and you're like, oh, all right, well, whatever. I guess I just didn't hit it that month. Well, if you come in with a plan B attitude, you already have a list of people that you are making hustling phone calls or sending hustling messages or text messages to. And you're making it happen because that's a plan B attitude. Keeping in mind that likes attract likes. So are you putting out to the world what you would like to receive? And, this is meaningful, obviously, on social media, but it's meaningful just in your engagements and conversations with people when you're out and about. We're not always behind the face of a computer. So it's just important to remember that. the people that you would like to attract to be as a part of your team, the people that you would like to attract as challengers in your challenge groups. Make sure that you are doing the things that you would like for them to do. So, just being the model. Keeping in mind that none of us are perfect and that your mess is your message. People relate to those hiccups in our life. People relate to the things that aren't easy, because let's face it, like, life isn't easy. Being a parent isn't easy. Being an adult isn't easy, right? So sharing all of those things as you go and just being comfortable with sharing all of that as a part of your story is really powerful stuff. Embracing change. And this is something that I can give a good example with my challenge tracker. So, we were all cozy here in our Facebook groups, and then here comes my challenge tracker throwing us all for a loop. Like, what is this app? I don't want to move off of Facebook. I love this feature from Facebook and this feature from Facebook. I'm not going to the app. I was totally there with you guys. So instead of having that attitude about change, embracing it. And instead of pointing fingers at all of the things that did change, like the app or the algorithms or the number of coaches that, are enrolling in the network, or, the cost of ads going up, or whatever it is, all of those external things, we don't have control over them. The only thing you have control over is yourself. So just accepting and knowing that everything around you is going to continue to change, and you have to be willing to evolve and just to evolve with change. And staying consistent. And I know that we beat this with a dead horse. I mean, you have to stay consistent. And for us, this comes back to the basics with the vital behaviors. So if you show up every single day and you do your 4 vital behaviors, even on the days that you don't want to, and you post every day, even on the days that you don't want to, what happens over time, it's the compound effect, right? Those seemingly insignificant behaviors over the course of time, they add up to yield really incredible results. And as a result, you're going to see business growth, right? I like to make the analogy here with our health and our fitness journey. So let's say you commit to a 30-day program and you commit 100%. You're like 21 days into your program, you're kicking ass, you're following your meal plan, you haven't missed a workout, you're seeing great results. And then on day 22, it's your sister's birthday, and you go out and you drink a bunch of beer and you eat a bunch of pizza. And on day 23, you wake up and you get back to your workouts and you're back on track with your nutrition. Is that one day going to have completely derailed you from your 21 days of focus if you jump right back on your bandwagon? No, it's not. It might give you like a little bit of a setback, but it's definitely not going to derail you if you completely refocus the next day. Same goes for somebody that, this was me in college, would like drink beer and eat pizza every day, and then one day decide like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym today and eat a salad, and then wonder why I didn't lose 5 pounds, because, it's the power of the compound effect. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about consistency in your vital behaviors. Just think about it as it's related to your fitness journey, and it becomes more powerful. So she shared this image, which I love, of a ballerina's feet. So when you think of a ballerina, if you close your eyes and imagine a ballerina, you likely picture the beautiful toes on the left, right? You don't picture the beat up, bruised foot on the right. So what happens with a ballerina is we see the end result. What we see is the grace and, the perfect form and the perfect spin and the perfect makeup. And what we don't see is all of the blood, sweat, and tears that went into that perfect presentation at the end. So I think it's really easy for us to get caught up in the comparison game, especially with the amount of time that we spend on social media. And my advice to you, if you find yourself getting caught up in a jealousy hangover, and I've been there, we've all been there with another coach, stop following them. because it's not going to help you to grow. You just have to focus on your own path. And the second that you get caught up in comparison your chapter, 5 to somebody else's chapter 15, it's not going to fuel you to continue to move forward, because you're going to be so caught up in what they're doing and what you're not. So the comparison game can be a really evil place to be. Those people that you find yourself getting jealousy hangovers, those coaches that you look at and really admire, but you find yourself getting really jealous, stop following them and pop back every now and again and just look through some of their content or posts just for inspiration every now and again if you feel like you need it. So I have a couple of action items for you, and this is maybe kind of small. So the first 3 are you're not going to be able to do right away. So this is sort of between now and the end of the year. The first is to create a vision for your life. And I'm not just talking like we're going to likely be working on vision boards as we look into 2017. We will probably be doing that as a team for our business, but I want you to think about creating a vision for your life. So when you wake up in the morning, who is there? What time is it? Are you hustling out the door? Are you sharing breakfast with people? Are you dropping somebody off at school? Are you going for a jog with your husband? I mean, what are you doing? Create a vision for your life. What is it that you want it to look like? As if there were no walls, right? And it's that vision that you create for your life that is going to be the fuel to create a vision for your business. And again, when things get hard, you're going to have this big, strong why and vision that you see moving forward that is going to make you unstoppable, because you're going to continue to work toward that. Second thing on the action items list is to really dig deep and think about what makes you feel alive, and how can coaching be that vehicle for you to deliver that message. So this may or may not have to do with health and fitness. So obviously we have some level of interest in health and fitness or we wouldn't be here. But is there something else that you've always dreamed of doing that coaching could be a vehicle to help you to get there? So think about what it is deep inside that like really makes you feel alive. Like that thing that you're like, oh man, one day I'd really like to do that. Well, guess what, guys? You have the vehicle to be able to deliver that message. So use it, dig deep and find what that is. And the third on the list is to identify your strengths. So if you're not sure what your strengths are, what gifts and value you bring, you need to ask somebody that you're close with. And your husband, your sister, your mom, whoever, say, give me 2 to 5 things that you think of when you think of me. And that's going to really help you to identify those and find the confidence to give those gifts to the world, because you're really selling the world short by not sharing them. My final action item, and this is honestly unrelated, but I think is a really great activity, is a social media audit. So I want you can do this before the weekend. Scroll through your last 30 posts on your wall, your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever you use. Through your last 30 posts, if I were to do that, would I know that you coach and guide others? Would I know that you're into health and fitness or nutrition? Would I know that you mentor and or lead a team of others? Would I know that you have something for me to be a part of? Would I know that you're a mom, a dad, a friend, a partner? So I would take these 5 items, write them across a sheet of paper, scroll through your page, and put a tally under each of these 5 categories every time you see a post that fits. And I'll tell you, you're going to likely find, because I do this every 3 weeks or so, you're going to find that you're like talking too much about one thing. So this is a really good activity to just kind of do a social media audit, because people are coming to your page all the time and just kind of scrolling through, and it's important that you're hitting on all of these different things. So I think in a nutshell, from Melanie's presentation was really just to, don't just go on just living, live to be alive, to inspire, and to inspire others to do the same. and to be extraordinary. So again, just taking the ordinary day-to-day things that you do and use those to live an extraordinary life and inspire others to do the same. So I'll put it back on this slide just so you guys can jot those action items down. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them. Otherwise, I'll pass it back to Megan.
Do you guys, any questions, you guys? Feel free to, you can just unmute yourself or post them in the, pardon me, in the group chat. But Sarah, I think that was such a great synopsis of what Melanie was communicating, and then some. It was so good. It just really, it was just a great, refreshing call for everything that we need to hear on like a regular, almost like daily basis. Like, you need to remember your why, your plan. There has to be a plan. You know, when things don't work out, there always has to be a plan B. It's not going to always go, it's not like all, you know, puppy dogs and roses and sunshine all the time. And I think people have some misconception of this business, like it's going to be, or they, you know, so I don't know. I love the social media audit. So if you could share that slide in Fit Tribe under, at least in the call thread, that would be great, so that we could refer people back to it. I think that would be awesome. Ashley, any feedback? I know she's like, college home recognition.
Did you say my name?
Did she say that she said my name? Yeah, I said, do you have any feedback?
No, I'm good.
Ashley is
that
Sarah's
presentation.
PS coach, so. If you didn't.
No, I'm good. I actually missed Melanie's presentation at Summit, so I'm happy to hear it now. Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah, no, I think she did. It was a great recap. So thank you, Sarah. You guys, if you have any additional questions, you know, just post them. Post them in Tribe. And if you can post that slide for the social media audit, that would be awesome. So we can get a call to action going for that. Okay.
Yep. I'll copy and paste the text in the call.
Awesome. And just so you guys know, for next week, we will not be having a call on Thursday. In lieu of our team call, we'll be doing the Dynasty Surge, which will be on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Okay. So anytime there's it's a resurgence or something. I don't know, once you put some spin on it. So just a heads up. So mark your calendars. It's 8 p.m. on Wednesday. There will be a recording. Thursday, no call. The following week, our call will also be on Wednesday, and that will be with my regional corporate mentor, which is our team's corporate regional mentor, Jeff Mathewson, about Premier and Elite and how to go that route if that's where you're choosing to go in 2017. And exactly if like when we talk about that stuff, if you're like, what does that mean? He will tell you exactly what that means on that call. Okay? Because he was going to do it on a retreat, but I was like, no, there's too many people that aren't here that need to know this. So we're going to do it we'll not do it this coming week, but the week after. So just mark your calendars. The next 2 weeks, we're doing Wednesdays. Okay? All right, guys. Have a great night. Thank you, Sarah.
Bye.
Bye.